Alright everyone, today was all about trust and integrity. And I will show you how these two characteristics are very much intertwined and do depend on each other and do correlate, if you will. So what happened today was a friend of mine, as it turned out, didn't make a payment that he was supposed to make. So the recipient, the supposed recipient, called me and said, there's a payment due. So what's up? And, well, yeah, after all, my friend who didn't make the payment, he admitted that he didn't have the money. It was like a month ago when I asked him whether he could make the payment or not. Because to me, money doesn't matter. If you really want money for something, you can get it. And you simply never stop asking and never stop being creative about finding sources of money. So to me, it doesn't really matter. However, what matters to me is integrity. What do I mean by integrity? Integrity means you do what you say you would do. In other words, you keep your promise, you honor your word. And, well, evidently, my friend who said he would pay whatever he had to pay, he didn't honor his word. And consequently, there's a trust issue for the future. Because someone who doesn't hold his word is not necessarily trustworthy. Anyhow, I solved the issue by calling my brother, who would lend me some money. And he said, you know what? I give you the money. I don't hesitate, because I know I can trust you. And I earned that trust because I showed integrity throughout the years. I made sure that I would honor my word, that I would say something and act accordingly. Can you now see how integrity and trust are very much related and do depend on each other, really? So the more often I show integrity, the more trust I will develop in my relationships. And the more I break my word, the less I am trustworthy. And at the source of a lack of integrity and therefore a lack of trustworthiness is very often the ego. The ego that shows its ugly face in pride. Now, it can be a good thing, obviously, but when it comes to making promises, establishing trust, very often it is an obstacle. So in this situation that I mentioned before, that I described before, it was my friend who was too proud to admit that he probably wouldn't make the payment. So he was like, yeah, I took care of it, no problem. And furthermore, when I kept on asking about it, he kept on telling me that he was able to make the payments, although he wasn't. And there really is the pride issue at hand. Because your ego has big time issues to admit weaknesses and to ask for help. So make promises you won't keep, and also you won't tell if something doesn't go the right way, because you don't want to show weakness. And it's all about, in the end, it's all about observing and realizing what patterns are at play, what mechanisms are at play at the moment, and realizing whether that mechanism benefits you or is more of a hindrance in whatever endeavor you're taking. And I think when it comes to the trust issue and the integrity issue, the ego can be a massive obstacle. And it does take something to swallow your pride, to admit that you're not able to pull off what you initially wanted to pull off. However, in the long run, if you let pride run wild, you will only fuck up your relationships. You will become someone who's not trustworthy. So much from my part. I hope you could get something out of it, something of value about the topic of integrity and trust. And maybe you can ask yourself, in which areas of my life have I not displayed integrity? And which people might not consider me trustworthy? And maybe you realize how these two correlate, or maybe you figure out a completely different conclusion, completely different connection of cause and effect, really. Alright, that's about it for today. Slightly longer video. I hope you enjoyed it. And as usual, I stay committed to giving you the tools to empower yourself, and I wish you a beautiful one.